Right into conduct of business. First item A, receive an oral report on the 4th of July fireworks activities. Chief?
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. My colleague will be here in just a second, but I will start without him. In 2005, the voters passed Measure G, allowing safe and sane fireworks in San Bruno. Allowing safe and sane fireworks in San Bruno increases the volume of activity for police and fire, including on the holiday, before and after the holiday. And as you know, safe and sane fireworks is mixed with the use of illegal fireworks. So the use of illegal fireworks and misuse of safe and sane fireworks poses a risk to safety. Because of this risk, each year since that measure passed by the voters, the fire chief and I come up to you and we tell you our plan for what we're going to do for the year. It is our best effort to protect property and damage, to curb the use of illegal fireworks, and to ensure that safe and sane fireworks are used in a safe manner. Our education campaign this year included a safety meeting with all of the firework vendors, the nonprofit selling fireworks. We put out an article in Focus. We did several public service announcements with cable to advise the public of the dangers of fireworks. We did an extra media bulletin this year because of the dry conditions to remind people that it was extremely dangerous fire conditions this year, and also to advise the public of our zero tolerance campaign. This year we also, and for the police department, we go to neighborhoods where we've experienced problems in the past. We did that again this year, and that is in addition to our pre-4th of July enforcement campaign. So over the 8-day reporting period from June 28th to July 5th, we had 137 reports of firework violations. Last year during that same time period, we had 128 reports of violations for illegal firework use. On the 4th of July, we have all of our personnel working except for those on a scheduled 40-hour vacation. And we also brought in 14 officers from Daly City and the San Mateo County Sheriff's Department. We do that to assist us during the peak times. So just to give you an average, Friday night, we average about 100 calls for service. The 4th of July is our busiest night of the year. It is every year. We had, bear with me here, we had 214 calls for service. 106 of those calls for service were firework related, and those came in from 8 o'clock at night to midnight. So that's why we have the additional enforcement help, and that's in addition to our regular patrol staff that we have on. So our teams, we had 30 officers assigned to firework violations, plus we had our regular staff out to handle normal calls for service. This year, we issued 9 citations for illegal firework use. The majority of those were on the 4th of July. We had one of those violations occur on July 5th. Fire department estimated that we collected about 22 pounds of illegal fireworks. Illegal firework use was throughout the city. There was no one area that was more prevalent than another. And the calls for service, the amount of activity that I observed out there, it seems to be consistent with years past. I think we've got somewhat of a consistent violation pattern, for lack of a better word. We had a lot of violations when the ordinance was first passed by the voters, had a lot of arrests. Those have seemed to taper off, as well as the complaints of illegal use, as well as what we observed. And for the past few years, it seems to be somewhat stable, hovering around that 120 to 130 violations over the 5-day reporting period. Again, all of our costs and all of the city's costs that it takes to make sure this city is safe over the 4th of July holiday, we take those costs and we pass those along to the firework nonprofits so that the city's general fund is not plagued with the costs associated with keeping San Bruno safe for the 4th of July. So at this point, I'll turn it over to my colleague to cover the fire department portion.
Sure you don't want to do my part too?
He almost did.
Yeah, sorry for being late. Because of the heightened awareness related to the drought this year, there was a little extra effort to inform the public on the dangers of fireworks related to the dry terrain within the city. We used a variety of outlets to inform the community. Fire staff worked with the Park and Rec Department to identify over 20 properties before the 4th of July to assure that we cut those weeds down, and they were done, like I said, prior to the 4th. Initially, there was a safety meeting and orientation in June with all the organizations requesting permits for fireworks. This year, we decided to outreach to all the schools. We sent over 4,000 flyers that talked about the fireworks-related dangers and also the no tolerance for illegal fireworks. Information was also included in the city's Focus publication and on the city's website. The Daily Journal ran an article on the high fire danger and again to emphasize the zero tolerance for illegal fireworks. We had public education announcements ran continuously throughout the fireworks campaign on cable television related to fireworks safety, the effects of the drought, and again on the emphasis of zero tolerance. The fire marshal conducted daily inspections of all booths from June 28th to July 4th. There was an extra fire engine assigned specifically to San Bruno for fireworks-related calls, and engine company chief officers patrolled the neighborhoods throughout the 4th of July to deter the use of illegal fireworks. Overall, there's 12 emergency calls on the 4th of July, 4 medical calls, 3 investigation, a couple miscellaneous calls for service. 1 structure fire response was in Daly City, which we provided mutual aid for. San Bruno Engine 51 as well as Truck 51 were there. There were 2 fire-related calls regarding safe and sane fireworks, a trash can fire in Lions Park and a structure fire at Sea Cliff Way. Both were attributed to improper disposal of safe and sane fireworks. But overall, in regards to fire-related incidents, it was a pretty quiet 4th of July. And I would like to say that, I would hope to say that it was attributed to the extra effort by staff to inform the public of the dangers of fireworks and the extra effort that went by Park and Rec and police enforcement. So other than that, that's our fireworks 4th of July report.
Any questions of staff?
I had a question and a comment on the cleanup aspect, which I know is unrelated to the fire and police, but it being on a Friday and a weekend opposed to a weekday, how was the cleanup as far as the next day was concerned?
So Public Works staff did have someone out on the following day for cleanup.
Okay, so same as during the week? Was it more than, equal to, less than cleanup? I was just trying to gauge between a weekday where there's a work day the next day and we had a weekend, a long weekend.
I don't have hard data, but anecdotally I heard that there was some additional cleanup required as a result of improper leaving of materials in the street, but nothing that represents a significant work effort that couldn't be adequately handled with the additional service that we provided the next day.
Thank you. And then just my comment, yes, probably I was allowed to be with the chief as a ride-along, maybe one of the last ones for 4th, so took that opportunity. Also went by the fire station, but also was on Sea Cliff when that structure fire after the department had already arrived. So once again, I want to compliment and thank staff, fire, police, Public Works, Parks and Rec, those that come in, spend their time. Obviously, it is required, but it also takes away from their family and opportunities that they have to do what they need to do. But obviously, the voters have voted the safe and sane fireworks, and it's up to us to try to provide the best safety possible. And it's without them, that would not be possible. So once again, my appreciation and thanks for all the efforts, work, and diligence of the staff and our public service and safety.
Good. Thank you very much. For a good job.